You're a drug addict. Not the kind with track marks on your arms. Not the kind who wakes up in alleyways or loses their teeth to methamphetamine. You're cleaner than that. More sophisticated. More acceptable. But you're an addict nonetheless. Your drug of choice? It fits in your pocket. It lights up. It vibrates. It whispers your name every few minutes, begging you to look, to touch, to feed. And you do. Every single time. You think you're in control. You think you can stop whenever you want. That's what they all say. The alcoholic. The gambler. The junkie nodding off in a bathroom stall. I can stop whenever I want. But you can't. You wake up and within 60 seconds, sometimes 30, your hand is already reaching for it. Before your feet hit the floor. Before you've said good morning to anyone you love. Before you've had a single original thought. Your first conscious act of the day is to inject yourself with a digital syringe full of dopamine. Emails. Messages. Notifications. The endless scroll. And the hit feels good, doesn't it? For a moment. Then it fades. And you need another hit. And another. And another. You're no different from a heroin addict. The mechanism is identical. The brain chemistry is identical. The loss of control is identical. The only difference? Society celebrates your addiction. Your dealer is worth $1 trillion. And your fix is legal. Let me explain what's happening inside your skull. Your brain has a reward system. It's ancient. Evolutionary. It exists to keep you alive. When you eat food, your brain releases dopamine. When you have sex, dopamine. When you accomplish something meaningful, dopamine. Dopamine is the molecule of motivation, of desire, of pursuit. It's not pleasure itself. It's the anticipation of pleasure. It's what gets you off the couch. What makes you hunt. What makes you create. What makes you human. But here's the problem. Your brain didn't evolve for the world you live in now. 10,000 years ago, dopamine was released when you found food after days of hunger. When you successfully hunted an animal. When you discovered a water source. These were rare, meaningful events. Survival events. Your dopamine system was designed for scarcity. But now you live in an environment of infinite abundance. Infinite content. Infinite novelty. Infinite stimulation. Every swipe. Every notification. Every autoplay video. Every like. Every comment. Every refresh. Dopamine. 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 Your brain is being flooded with the same neurochemical that used to be reserved for life or death moments of triumph. Except now it's triggered by watching a 15-second video of a cat falling off a table. And your brain can't tell the difference. To your dopamine receptors, scrolling through Instagram is the same as killing a woolly mammoth. Except it's not. Because after you kill the mammoth, you eat. You rest. You recover. The dopamine fades. Balance is restored. But the scroll never ends. There are buildings in Silicon Valley, glass towers filled with some of the smartest people on the planet. Neuroscientists, behavioral psychologists, engineers, data analysts. And their job is singular. To keep you looking at the screen. Not for one more minute. For one more second. They run A/B tests on your psychology. They measure your blink rate. They track where your eyes go. They know exactly how long a video needs to be before you swipe. They know what colors trigger engagement. They know what sounds make you stop scrolling. They have billions of dollars in funding. They have decades of research. They have your entire behavioral history stored in databases. And you have willpower. Good luck. You're fighting a supercomputer with a meat-based brain that hasn't been updated in 10,000 years. A brain that still thinks sugar is rare. A brain that still thinks a notification might be a saber-toothed tiger. They are engineered to win. You are biologically vulnerable. This is not a fair fight. This is a massacre. And the weapon they're using? Variable reward schedules. Let me explain. When you pull a slot machine lever, you don't know if you'll win. That uncertainty is what makes it addictive. If you won every time, you'd get bored. If you never won, you'd stop playing. But sometimes keeps you pulling. Your phone works the exact same way. Sometimes you get a message. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes a post goes viral. Sometimes it dies. Sometimes someone likes your photo. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes that word is a psychological weapon. It creates a dopamine spike not when you get the reward, but when you're anticipating it, when you're uncertain. That's why you check your phone even when there's no notification. That's why you refresh your feed even though you just looked 30 seconds ago. You're a rat in a Skinner box. And the psychologists on the other side of the glass are taking notes. Now let's talk about what this is doing to you. Not theoretically, not abstractly. Actually, your brain is plastic. Neuroplasticity. It reshapes itself based on what you do repeatedly. If you lift weights, your muscles grow. If you practice piano, your motor cortex thickens. And if you scroll, your dopamine receptors downregulate. Your brain realizes it's getting flooded with dopamine all day, every day, so it does the only thing it can. It reduces the number of receptors. It turns down the volume. Now the things that used to give you pleasure, a conversation, a book, a walk, a meal, don't do anything for you anymore. They're too slow, too quiet, too boring. You need more, faster, brighter, louder. You need the hit. And when you don't get it, withdrawal, anxiety, restlessness, irritability. The same symptoms a cocaine addict feels when they can't get their fix. You've felt it. You've been somewhere without your phone and felt your chest tighten. Felt the phantom vibrations in your pocket. Felt the need to check, even though there's nothing to check. That's not preference. That's dependency. But it's worse than that. Your attention span is dying. Right now, the average human attention span is shorter than a goldfish. 8 seconds. 8. You can't read a book anymore. Can't watch a full movie without checking your phone. Can't have a conversation without glancing at the screen. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus, decision-making, impulse control, is atrophying. You're becoming impulsive, distracted, weak. And it's not just your attention. Your memory is going. When you scroll, you're not encoding information. You're skimming, consuming, forgetting. You watch a video. 5 seconds later, it's gone. You read a headline. Gone. You see a photo. Gone. Your brain is learning that nothing matters. That nothing is worth remembering. That everything is disposable. And so are you. Let me paint you a picture of your life right now. You wake up tired. Not because you didn't sleep, because you did, after scrolling in bed for an hour. But your sleep was shallow, fragmented. Your brain never reached deep rest because the blue light from your screen suppressed your melatonin production. You stumble through the morning in a fog. You sit down to work, and within 5 minutes, you're checking your phone. You tell yourself it'll just be a quick look. 30 minutes later, You snap out of it. You've absorbed nothing, accomplished nothing. You feel vaguely guilty, vaguely anxious, vaguely empty. You try to focus. You can't. Your brain is fried. It's screaming for dopamine, and the spreadsheet in front of you isn't giving it any. So you check your phone again. Lunch. You eat while scrolling. You don't taste the food. You don't notice you're full. You just consume. Afternoon. The same cycle. Distraction. Guilt. Distraction. Guilt. Evening. You tell yourself you'll be productive. You'll read. You'll work on that project. You'll call that friend. But you don't. You scroll. Hours disappear. And then it's midnight. And you're still holding the glowing rectangle. And you realize you've done nothing. You've experienced nothing. You've created nothing. You've just consumed. And you feel disgusted with yourself. But tomorrow will be different, right? No, it won't. Because you're addicted. And here's the part that should terrify you. This isn't just stealing your time. It's stealing who you are. Masculinity, femininity, ambition, drive, discipline, creativity. All of it requires one thing: delayed gratification. The ability to resist the easy pleasure now for the meaningful reward later. But you can't do that anymore. You've trained your brain to expect instant gratification, instant feedback, instant reward. So when something requires effort, real effort, you quit. You quit the business. You quit the workout. You quit the relationship. You quit the book. You quit the skill. Because it's hard. Because it's slow. Because it doesn't give you the hit. You've become weak. Not physically, though that's probably true too. Mentally. You've lost the ability to suffer, to endure, to wait. And without that ability, you will never build anything worth building. You will never become anyone worth becoming. You'll just scroll, and scroll, and scroll, until you die. Now, let's talk about the enemy, because this is a war. On the other side of your screen, there are thousands of people whose entire job is to keep you trapped. Not to make your life better. Not to connect you with loved ones. Not to inform or educate or inspire you. To keep you looking. Because every second you look is a second they can sell to advertisers. Your attention is the product. You are the product. And they are really, really good at their job. They use every trick in the book. Infinite scroll, so there's no natural stopping point. Autoplay, so you don't even have to make the decision to watch the next video. Red notification badges, because red triggers urgency in your primate brain. Streaks and rewards, to make you feel like you'll lose something if you stop. They've gamified your existence. And you're losing, because they're not fighting fair. They're using neuroscience, machine learning, psychological warfare. And you're using what? Willpower. Willpower is finite. Willpower depletes. Willpower is a muscle, and every time you resist the urge to check your phone, that muscle gets a little weaker. By the end of the day, you have no willpower left. So you give in, and they win. Again. The algorithm knows you better than you know yourself. It knows what you'll click before you click it. It knows what will make you angry, what will make you horny, what will make you jealous, what will make you afraid. And it feeds you exactly that. Because engagement is the goal. Not truth. Not beauty. Not growth. Engagement. Rage gets engagement. Outrage gets engagement. Tribalism gets engagement. Fear gets engagement. Lust gets engagement. So that's what you see. All day. Every day. Your worldview is being shaped by an algorithm designed to keep you angry, afraid, and addicted. And you think your thoughts are your own. They're not. You're being programmed. So what do? You fight back. But not with willpower. Willpower will fail you. You fight back with structure, with systems, with environment design. You need a dopamine detox. Not because dopamine is bad. It's not. It's essential. But your dopamine system is broken. It's been hijacked. It's been exploited. And the only way to fix it is to reset it. Here's how. First, you need to understand the power of boredom. Boredom is not the enemy. Boredom is the cure. When you're bored, your brain doesn't shut off. It does the opposite. It starts to create. It starts to think. It starts to generate ideas, solve problems, make connections. But you never let it. The moment you feel even a hint of boredom, you grab your phone. You're terrified of being alone with your thoughts. But that's where all the magic happens. That's where every great idea in history was born. In silence. In stillness. In boredom. So here's what you do. You sit. You stare at a wall. You do nothing. For 10 minutes. Then 20. Then an hour. No phone. No music. No podcast. No book. Nothing. Just you and your thoughts. It will be excruciating at first. Your brain will scream at you. It will beg you for stimulation. It will tell you this is a waste of time. Ignore it. Sit. This is the reset. Next, you turn your phone to grayscale. Right now. Not later. Now. Color is designed to grab your attention. The red notification badge. The blue logo. The bright thumbnails. Grayscale removes that. Suddenly, your phone becomes boring, dull, unappealing. And that's exactly what you need. Turn off all notifications. All of them. You don't need to know the instant someone likes your photo. You don't need to know the instant you get an email. You don't need to know anything in real time. The world will not end if you check your messages once every few hours instead of once every few minutes. But your addiction will. Do not look at your phone for the first hour after you wake up. This is non-negotiable. The morning is when your brain is most neuroplastic, most receptive, most pure. And the first thing you feed it sets the tone for the entire day. If the first thing you do is scroll, you're telling your brain, we're in reactive mode. We're in consumption mode. We're in addiction mode. If the first thing you do is think, move, create, you're telling your brain we're in control. Delete the apps. Not all of them, but the ones you know are the problem. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever your poison is. Delete it. But I need it for work. No, you don't. But I'll miss out. On what? Envy? Comparison? Rage bait? You'll miss out on nothing that matters. And here's the hardest one. Stop using your phone as a crutch. Waiting in line. Don't pull out your phone. Just wait. Sitting in a waiting room? Don't pull out your phone. Just sit. Walking down the street? Don't pull out your phone. Just walk. Every time you reach for your phone out of habit, out of discomfort, out of boredom, stop. Feel the discomfort. Embrace it. That discomfort is your brain healing. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds extreme. It is. This sounds hard. It is. This sounds like I'll be missing out on everything. You won't. You'll be missing out on nothing. And you'll be gaining everything. Let me tell you what happens when you actually do this. The first 3 days are hell. You'll feel anxious, restless, irritable. You'll have phantom vibrations. You'll reach for your phone 100 times and find it's not there. You'll feel like you're missing something. You are. You're missing your drug. Day 4, something shifts. You'll notice you can focus for longer. Not long, maybe 10 minutes. But that's longer than yesterday. Day 7, you'll read a chapter of a book without checking your phone. Day 14, you'll have a full conversation without thinking about what's happening on the screen. Day 30, you'll realize you haven't thought about your phone in hours. And something else will happen. You'll start to feel alive again. Colors will seem brighter. Food will taste better. Conversations will feel meaningful. You'll have ideas. Real ideas. Creative ideas. Ideas that excite you. You'll have energy. Not the jittery, anxious energy of constant stimulation. Real energy. The kind that makes you want to build something, create something, do something. You'll remember what it feels like to be present, to be here, to be human. But here's the thing. This only works if you actually do it. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not after you finish this video. No. Right now you have a choice. You can close this video, scroll for another 3 hours, and wake up tomorrow exactly the same as you are today. Weak. Distracted, addicted, or you can turn off the screen. You can sit in silence. You can reclaim your brain. This is not about becoming a monk. This is not about rejecting technology. This is about control. Right now, you are not in control. The algorithm is in control. The engineers are in control. The dopamine is in control. You are a passenger in your own life. And every day you let this continue, you lose a little more of yourself. Your ambition, your focus, your ability to create, your ability to connect, your ability to think. You're becoming a shell, a digital zombie, scrolling through life, never fully awake, never fully present, never fully you. So here's the challenge. Turn off your phone. Right now. Put it in another room. Put it in a drawer. Put it somewhere you can't see it. And sit. For 10 minutes. No distractions. No escapes. No easy outs. Just you. And see what happens. You might be surprised. You might remember who you were before the algorithm got its hooks in you. You might remember what it feels like to be free. Or you can keep scrolling. You can keep telling yourself you'll change tomorrow. You can keep pretending you're in control. But we both know the truth. You're not. The choice is yours. But choose quickly. Because every second you spend staring at that screen is a second you'll never get back. And time is the one thing you can't scroll past.